Hi, I'm Christina, and I'm a registered dietitian and mom of 2. Introducing your baby to solid foods can bring up all sorts of feelings, from excitement to fear, to hesitation to delight. And with those feelings come a lot of questions about how to do it in the safest, healthiest way. Babies develop and grow at different rates, and that's okay. If you have questions about how your baby is growing, talk to your child's doctor. In this episode, we'll answer the question, when can my baby eat solids? The why. Babies should drink breast milk and/or formula for the entire first year of their life. And solids should be added to a baby's diet at some point around the 6-month mark, and when your baby is showing signs of readiness, like sitting unassisted in a high chair and showing interest in food, maybe even grabbing from your plate. Solid foods contain nutrients essential for growth and development that aren't as available in breast milk and formula, like zinc, iron, and vitamin D. In addition, starting solid foods helps your baby develop gross and fine motor skills, like sitting up in a high chair or picking up finger foods and moving them to their mouth. The when. You'll be able to tell your baby is ready for solids when they are able to sit up with minor support, like within the straps of a high chair, or fully unassisted with good head control. They also might start showing an interest in solids by reaching out for food you are eating. This is usually around 6 months. The how. When you are ready to introduce solid foods, safety is key. Up until this point, your baby has only needed to swallow liquid, but solid food requires them to use their tongue to move food around their mouth. As babies are learning to enjoy new flavors, caregivers should avoid adding salt and sugar to babies' foods. Every baby's development and readiness for solid foods is different. Parents and caregivers can watch for signs for readiness. Most babies start with pureed textures. Aim for a variety of foods and flavors from all food groups. As they grow, they learn to move food around their mouth. Pay close attention and you will see signs of when they are able to handle more textures. Usually once babies can pick food up with their fists, they are ready for mashed textures. When babies are able to move that food to their mouth and feed themselves, they are ready for small chopped textures. Introduce your baby to lots of flavors and textures from all 5 food groups. This will help them get used to the foods and flavors that your family eats and may cut down on pickiness later on. The next steps. In addition to breast milk or formula, any solid food given to babies 6 to 12 months should be easily broken up by a caregiver by squeezing between 2 fingers or mashing with a fork. Any textures harder than that might be a choking hazard. Usually around this age, they start getting teeth, although these teeth won't be much help in chewing food yet. At this time, they are beginning to use their jaw and tongue to mash food. They may also want to start feeding themselves using their hands to grab at foods in front of them, and like to practice with finger foods they can pick up. They will also start to be able to hold a cup independently. You can also offer small amounts of water in a cup to your baby at this age. When babies are able to pull themselves up to standing or taking some steps, they are usually ready for chopped food with more complicated but still soft textures. At this stage, they like to feed themselves with a spoon, can hold a cup and take swallows, and like to try to drink from a straw. Once infants have their first birthday and move into toddlerhood, most can chew and swallow firmer foods. They like to try using a fork and can handle most table foods, and also are hard to keep still. So to summarize, when your baby shows signs of readiness at around 6 months old, you can offer your baby purees, and then gradually move to thicker purees, mashed foods, and then finger foods. Remember, look for signs of when your baby can move to the next stage of feeding. Some babies who start feeding at 6 months may even be able to handle more textures. Food should be soft and chopped into small pieces to avoid a choking hazard. And remember, your baby only knows what flavors you give them. That's why it's so important to introduce your baby to a variety of healthy foods and offer many times to your baby in their first year of life, and avoid salt and added sugar when you can. You'll be setting them up for taste preferences that support healthy eating. Know a caregiver who should see this video? Share it. Do you have other questions about feeding your baby? We can help. Head to cookingmatters.org for infant feeding tips and more.